So this is a introductory session, and in this demo session, so let me first start with some diagram. It will be easy to understand why and how this SAP UI5 Fiori came into picture. So at the initial level, for around 40 years back, when SAP first came into market, they were running their business. I mean, they had developed their software within a single box. Single box means within a single box they have developed, like, one second, their database. They had developed their database system, database server. They developed their application server, and presentation server was in the single system, single box. Okay. At that point of time, they called it out as R1, architectural design. Correct. So that was the very beginning when SAP first launched their software. Okay. But very soon they realized that they need to separate their database system, database server, from their application server or presentation server. So for that, they created another box dedicated for database and separate box for application and presentation, and that they called it out as R2. Okay, R2 architectural design. And after some days, they feel like they need to segregate their presentation logic from their application logic as well. So that's why they came up with the new R3 design where we are currently working in. Okay, new R3 design where we are currently working in. That means in the R3 design, they came up with another box. This is for presentation server. Correct. And here now they are calling it as R3. Three-tier architecture. Three-tier architectural design. And now we are communicating like from presentation server to application, and then application to database. Okay. And the response will come like from database to application, and application server will compile the data, and it will send back to presentation. That is how this is how the R3 architectural design will work. Okay. But certainly what became wrong, so that SAP came up with UI5 Fiori and OData, native gateway, this kind of new technologies and terms. See, actually there was nothing wrong. Okay. So the old, so initially SAP was very busy to develop their own ERP system. Okay. So they only focus their all attentions towards the business logics. Okay. And so in that way they have never thought about the user interface part. Correct. So that's why you generally see for each and every transaction there are so many complicated screens, subscreens, tabs, and other different things are there. Okay? And for general user who will be ultimately using the system, okay, the T codes, sometimes they feel it is very much clumsy, it is very much difficult, okay, and it is not obviously a user friendly interface. The GUI is not a user friendly interface. So that means basically presentation server is now based on GUI. Okay, and moreover GUI screens are mainly heavyweight screen, like the loading time, the memory consumption is more, okay, rather than whatever the application running on the web. So different requests came to SAP, like from different clients, like we need some good user interface like Java or .NET or PHP or any other technologies they are using to run their application from web or any other application, mobile devices. So in this regard, SAP came with this UI5 and Fury technologies. Okay, so let me first draw another diagram that is related to our session. Like, you know, so now let's suppose this is your database. Okay, this is your application server, and now we have something else rather than our presentation server. So what, and one more thing, like, so let me just first write it down here. This is your database, this is your application server, this is your application server. Okay, and all these things we generally found this our R3 architectural design runs under intranet system. Okay, so this runs under intranet system. Okay, so what is intranet? Like, intranet is a, let's suppose like we are working for any foreign client, right? So we are not accessing their system directly from internet, so we are not going to any URL and directly accessing their system, right? So we are generally using some other third-party software like Citrix or anything else to access their system. So that means internet is a rigid system that is not exposed directly to internet. Okay, and let's suppose this is internet. Okay, let's suppose this is internet. So internet world is a big world and internet world is a small world, rigid world. Okay, so now SAP thought how we can access the backend data, how we can manipulate the backend data through our different devices like mobile device, tablet, or any other desktop, laptop devices from internet, right? So let me just write. Let's suppose this is your mobile device, this is your tablets, and this is your laptop. Okay, and you are sitting in internet system. Okay, fine. Okay, and there is a barrier like intranet, so we cannot directly access our ECC data from internet. correct? Let me just write it down. This is intranet, and the big world is internet. And to access data from mobile device, tablets, or different other devices, we need to access internet system. So for that, SAP introduced, like SAP was not introducing, like it was there already. SAP was using, SAP thought to use this thing. Okay, SAP thought to use this OData above service, OData service. So OData service is nothing but it's a HTTP protocol based service through which we can connect the outsider world to our insider intranet system, ECC system, SAP Business Suite. Okay, so that means with this OData service, the barrier will break. The barrier has been broken by this OData service. There is no such barrier now. Okay, and now our mobile device or tablet device or desktop device or laptop device can connect to OData, and OData then connect to our application server. But that is also not possible directly. Okay, so that's why SAP introduced around around 2011 or 2012, SAP introduced SAP NetWeaver system, NetWeaver gateway system. So NetWeaver gateway is another new thing here. Okay, SAP introduced NetWeaver gateway system, which we can deploy on our application server. Okay, which we can deploy on our application server. Okay. So by using this NetWeaver gateway system only, we can connect to OData. That means we can connect between application server and OData by using this NetWeaver gateway system. This NetWeaver gateway system. By using this NetWeaver gateway system, we can connect our application server with OData protocol. OData is nothing but internally it is using HTTP protocol to connect to the outsider internet system. Okay, so this is also new to us. Okay, so now let me just this is also new, and these are also new. Okay, so now the flow will happen like this. The request will come from outsider internet system to different devices to OData protocol, OData above services, and then OData will request it back to NetWeaver gateway. Okay, and then NetWeaver can communicate to application server, and after that receiving the request, application server can process the database operation into the database server. Okay, and after manipulating the data, database server can respond back the resulted data to the application server, and by using this middleware NetWeaver gateway, the connector, it can connect to OData, and OData then can respond back to our outsider, mobile device, laptop, tablets, etc. Okay. So this will be the basic flow, and the part which you are currently see in greenery part, so those are new things. NetWeaver gateway, OData, and these devices. These devices means here basically we will implement the user interfaces. So to implement user interfaces, we need to use UI5. Okay, we need to use UI5 here. So this is new thing, UI5. NetWeaver gateway, OData, UI5. Okay. So let me proceed further. And one more thing, like let me tell you, to deploy the NetWeaver gateway. One second, sorry. To deploy the NetWeaver gateway, we have two different options. We have two different options to deploy the NetWeaver gateway. We have two different options to deploy the NetWeaver gateway. One first option is to by embedded option, and second option is central hub option. So this is also important, you need to know. So embedded option means here I have shown you, like we deployed NetWeaver gateway on our application server. Okay, so this is one way. Okay, so like this is your application server, this is your NetWeaver gateway. Okay, this is your application server, this is your NetWeaver gateway. So generally for big organizations, they don't want to hamper their application server, already existing application server. So that's why they prefer to deploy NetWeaver gateway as a separate server, and this we call it as central hub deployment. This we call it as central hub deployment option. Okay, this is central hub. So by implementing in this way, we can separately install different patches, okay, whenever required, into separate server. Okay, so anyway we will not have any chance to disturb the application server. But there is another way, like in this way we will deploy our NetWeaver gateway inside the application server, on the application server. This is NetWeaver gateway, and technically we called it as embedded deployment. Although these things are mainly for basis guys, but as a technical guy you should know all these things. Okay, so let me proceed further. Like so so first of all, GUI screens are heavyweight screen. Okay, and one more thing, like if I will tell you, like second, in the application server, previously in the R3 architectural design, all the things like different database operations, different database operations, then calling BAPI, okay, function module, okay, or any other thing like any other screen related thing like different events, different events, different screen validation, okay, to place different screen elements, right? So screen elements are nothing but radio button, text boxes, check boxes, input file, then carousel, graphs, a lot of things are there, okay. So these things, these events, screen validations, all the things were running in the application server. So that means the application server was much loaded, okay, and the memory consumption was also very high in the R3 architectural design, okay, because everything was running, compiling on the application server. But now with the new design, okay, but now with the new design, these things, these screen related things, events, everything will be running under, once again let me highlight it, okay, these things will be running on the client machine, on your browser, okay. So that means here one new thing came into picture. So this is your server and this is your client, right? So client server technique is came into picture with this new technology, right? And obviously this different event screen validation, different screen element placement will happen on the client side, on the browser side. That's why it will reduce the load from the application server. That means the application will run fast rather than in the R3 architectural design, okay. So one more thing, let me just introduce, yes, okay. So here I can say like, I can say previous ABAP application, okay, is stateful. Stateful ABAP application is stateful, okay. Why? Because it's stateful, because all the things, all the database related operations, BAPI, function module, screen validations, screen elements, screen components, different event triggering, all the thing are happening in the application server. But now in the UI5 or Fury, okay, we can call it as stateless. Why? Because this is stateful and this is stateless. Once again, I don't want to save it now. So why? Because all the database operations will happen in the application server, and if you run the next transaction or if you open next transaction in the same application, then it will not remember the data which were coming previously from the database server or application server. It basically do not hold the data and it do not remember the data. That is why it is called as stateless stateless applications. So ABAP is a stateful, and all the applications which will build in UI5 or SAP has already provided as part of Fiori, all are stateless application. Okay, this is important. So let me just bring some differences here at first, right? Okay, so that it will be easy to compare why ABAP and why UI5 and Fiori. Okay, so let's say this is your SAP ABAP application, and this is your SAP UI5 Fiori application. Okay, so as I told you, SAP application are stateful and this is stateless. Okay, and performance wise it is average. Performance is best with using the UI5 or Fiori application, right? As because everything skill related things will be performed at the browser level. It will reduce the load from the application server. And one more important thing is like our application only runs under intranet. Okay, but it can run both intranet and internet, correct? And ABAP applications are totally based on GUI based, uh, and this UI5 and Fiori is totally browser based, right? Let me just, okay, and we can run our ABAP application on only the desktop and laptop. But as because UI5 and Fiori application can run on any browser, that's why we can run it on desktop, laptop, mobile, tablet, any devices. This is device independent, and our application are device dependent. And some more thing like audio video integration is very difficult here. Is difficult, but here in the UI5 application this becomes easy. Audio video integration is easy. Okay, and the most important aspect is in ABAP application we have only 10 to 15 screen elements, but here In our UI5 and Fury application, we have more than 200 plus screen element. Okay, and audio video integration is part of that 200 plus screen element. So that is not possible in above application, where we have only around 10 to 15 screen element. Okay, so more or less like these are the. Okay, one more thing, let me just introduce, like ABAP application, as because it is running on the GUI. Okay, that's why it is consuming more memory. Memory consumption is high and all are heavyweight screen. Okay, here we will have lightweight screen. So that are all the basic differences that we have. So now let me just tell you, this SAP UI5 and Fury applications mainly follow the MVC architecture. MVC architecture here. Okay, MVC means model, view, controller, architecture. Okay, so I'll let you know how this model view controller architecture basically works behind this Fury and UI5 screen, UI5 applications. Okay, but at least you should know how this is the main architecture that SAP UI5 and Fury follows. Okay, so okay, I think let me just introduce briefly how model view controller architecture will work in Fury and UI5 application. Okay, so model, controller, view. Let's suppose this is the three thing you have. Okay, model, controller, and view. This is your model. This is your controller, and this is your view. View is nothing but whatever we will see in the browser, whatever user can see or interact with, that is called as view. Okay, and all the database related okay, let me just output screen, and model is nothing but where we will deal with database. Okay, and controller is the part which will integrate between the model and view, so it will act as a mediator. So the same thing happen here. Request will come to controller from view, and view will process to model, and model will respond back to controller, and controller will manipulate the data and then send back to view. This is how the MVC architecture will work. And let me just relate something. So this model part, okay, this model part will develop using our OData ABAP service. This model part we will develop using OData ABAP service. Okay, and this controller and view we will develop under our new tool. So let's say now, just go with me. So this will develop as part of our UI5 custom UI5 development, custom application or Fury enhancement. Okay, so let me just tell you some important tools that we are going to use here, like here, to develop our OData ABAP service we'll be using SEGW. This is a transaction T code which we can access from our front end system. Front end system means, let me just show you here. So practically, when you will go in the system to develop any UI5 application, so you will find front end and back end. Front end and back end. So why front end and back end? So I told you in one of the diagram, like this is central hub deployment. Central hub deployment, this is your back end, this is your front end. Okay, that is why we can see here front end and back end. Okay, so we will develop our OData ABAP service on NetWeaver gateway system. That is our front end. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention here. So the linkage between the NetWeaver gateway and application server was the TRFC. By using the TRFC only, we can communicate from we can communicate between the NetWeaver gateway and application server. This is TRFC. Okay, so guys, here I would be going here and there because this is a introductory session and you should know what you will be going to learn throughout the later sessions. Okay, so I am giving you the overall idea, some new terms. Okay, so that may you may think like that is haphazard, but this is important. Okay, so this is the SEGW transaction code we can access from our front end server. This is nothing but the NetWeaver gateway system. Okay, so first of all, let me just introduce you the other thing, like what is UI5 and what is Fury. Okay, so what is SAP UI5? So SAP UI5 is a framework for developing web application that runs on browser. Okay, SAP UI5 is a framework basically. So why we are calling it as framework, I will tell you. So UI5 is a framework for developing web application that runs on browser. Okay. As of now, just keep in mind, SAP UI5 is a framework. That means framework means generally we will have some inbuilt things. We are going to use that inbuilt things to develop our custom applications. Okay. And let me just first tell you what is SAP Fiori. And SAP Fiori, it's a package. Okay. So first let me just write it down here. SAP Fiori is a package. Okay. Which contains a collection of standard application. And standard application all are developed by SAP, SAP itself. So those are all standard application are delivered by SAP, is called as Fiori. Okay. And SAP Fiori internally use the UI5 framework. So this is also important. Okay. So collection of standard applications means, so in SAP business suite, like we have different standard transactions, like we have purchase order creation, change, delete, sales order creation, change, delete, and different other standard transactions to accomplish our different business requirement. Okay. So SAP has already delivered the standard T codes. Okay. Standard application, above application, and whenever we require, as per our client requirement, we will we generally do some modifications, some enhancement as per our client requirement on the standard applications. So let's suppose we can add new fields on sales order screen. Okay. We can hide some new fields, or we can add new functionality to calculate the pricing and different other things. But the main SAP ERP software has been delivered by SAP. Same applies here. Okay. Here SAP has already delivered all the standard applications. Standard applications means, let me just tell you some of the standard applications. Which are all the standard applications? Like approve leave request. Okay, this is also a standard application. Approve timesheet. Okay. Create sales order. Okay. Create purchase order. So these are all the standard applications, and it has already been delivered by SAP. What we will do, we'll do modifications on the standard application. Okay, as part of Fiori enhancement, as per our client requirement. Okay. And this Fiori is also based on UI5 framework. As I told you, UI5 is based on some framework, right? That means, let me just introduce you to that. That means there are a lot of standard classes, methods, events, user interface elements, controls that has been delivered by SAP. to develop our custom web application. So let me just write it down here. Okay, so that means basically we have some standard libraries. So let me introduce you to SAP UI5 libraries. So this library consists of, first of all, let me write it down, the note. SAP UI5 framework means there are a lot of standard classes, methods that you will find under the classes, different events like click events, different UI elements, okay, different controls, etc. And that all are delivered by SAP itself to make use while developing our custom web application. So that means if we need to place some text area, or if we need to place some button, okay, on our web page, we have to just use the class and the particular method that will construct that text field or button, and we will be calling the event while we require to click, while we require some action upon clicking on the button or anything else. So all the standard things are provided by SAP. We will be using in a certain way so that we can accomplish our requirement. That is the main thing. Okay, so I was trying to make you understand what are the different tools. So AC, ACGW, this is one of the tool that we use to develop our OData web service, and to develop our UI5 we need to use either the Eclipse or Web IDE. Okay, these are the tools. Let me just write it down here. This is for OData web service, and these two are for to develop UI5 application or Fury application, or enhancing the Fury standard application. So basically we generally use Eclipse for our UI5 development, okay, and we generally use Web IDE for Fury enhancement, that we generally use. Okay, for Eclipse we generally use for UI5, Web IDE for Fury enhancement. Okay, so let me just, so you might have question like, do we need to have knowledge on JavaScript or HTML? Okay, so obviously you don't have, it is not prerequisite to you have the knowledge of JavaScript or HTML. HTML is easy, and definitely we are not going to use any JavaScript coding. Here we will be using only UI5 scripting. So as I told you, we do have a lot of standard libraries, classes, methods, events, controls, etc. that we are going to use to develop our UI5 application, the front end part. Okay. So let me just quickly show you how easy it is. Okay. So to develop any UI5 application, here I am using the Eclipse tool. This is the Eclipse tool. Okay, I'll go each and every detail in the later session. So to develop any UI5 application, you need to go to the file, new, others, application project. Next, you need to give some name like Jet demo. Here you can choose from these two library, acp.ui.commons, acp.m. I will explain each and every libraries. Okay. So here these are the two basic libraries that we need to use. Either of them, acp.m is exclusively for mobile devices, acp.ui.commons we can use in the mobile device or in the desktop. Okay, it is best suitable for the desktop device or laptop device. Okay, and mobile, from mobile device also we can use, but in that case from mobile we need to browse from some browser. Okay, and this option, this is the view option, whether we want to create an initial view or not. So I want to create an initial view, then I'm going next option. Okay, I'm giving on view name as first. Here you will have four kind of option to develop your view: JavaScript, XML, JSON, HTML. Okay, so basically as of now just keep in mind JavaScript we will be using to develop our UI5 application view, and XML is used by SAP to develop the standard Fiori application. So whenever we need to modify, we need to play with the standard UI5 standard Fiori application to enhance their view part, we need to patch in the XML view. So for UI5 development we will be using always the JavaScript view. Okay, so you can see, so let me just close all these things. So you can see here Jet demo project has been created with the default some folders and options. Here index.html is the first file that will load at the very initial time whenever our UI5 application will load at the first time. So this is the first entrance point, index.html. That is why you need to know some kind of HTML. Okay. So let me just quickly explain what are the things are there. So in the index.html you have the mainly header part and body part. Okay, and in the header part you will have meta section which will tell you what are the different standard browsers that we can use. Okay, here it is saying Internet Explorer 8, and in the next part this is the bootstrap section. I will explain each and everything thoroughly, okay, in the main sessions. So now I'm just going quickly here. This is the bootstrap section. Okay, and here we can define our library, which library we are going to use. I mean, which methods and which events we are going to use, and each and everything. Okay, each and everything like each and every classes, methods, events, they should reside in some libraries. Like here we are using acp.ui.common library. Okay, and some other thing I will explain later on. And here we can write. Let's suppose I am writing on code here. So there are basically three steps to write the scripting code, UI5 scripting code. First step, step 1. This is just to demonstrate you how easy it is to write coding in UI5. So step 1 is to you need to declare the object of any screen elements. Screen elements means, I told you, screen elements means different ready buttons, check boxes, drop down boxes, input box, everything that you can see in the browser, that comes under UI screen elements. So first and foremost thing is you need to declare the object of that particular screen element. Okay, so declare the object of UI screen element. Okay, so how we can do it? Like we have to use var. Don't worry, I will explain everything. Var is the keyword by which we can declare any variable, any array, any string, or any object as well. Okay, so here let's suppose I am going to use on header, application header. We are going to create one application header here. Application header, any name you can provide as per your naming convention. Here I am providing AHO. AH for application header, O is for object. Where object, we are declaring application header object, and new. New is a keyword here, and here I'm going to use sap.ui.commons. This is the library, standard library. I told you we are going to use different libraries, and inside different libraries we have different classes, methods, events, controls. Keep in mind, inside different standard libraries we have different standard classes, methods, events, controls that we are going to use to develop our front-end UI5 screens. So this is one of the standard library, sap.ui.commons. That is why we are calling it as a framework. sap.ui.commons standard is a standard library here, and inside this standard library I want to use application header, right? So application header is one of the class here, standard class. Okay, so these things I will be using later on. Now this is not useful for me. So this step we have done, declare the SAP UI5 screen element object, and in the second step what you can do is you can, okay, so in the first of all, and here one more thing you can declare the different properties and events if you want. So here let's suppose you have some properties like property 1, so you have to use curly braces as well. So first bracket, then curly braces, inside that you can use property 1 and not and colon. So colon will work as equal to in above. So property 1 and its value, like value 1. Okay, then similarly if you will have different other properties, then you can use it, like property 2, okay, value 2, property 3, value 3, and you can use event as well. Okay, event, some function name. Okay, so this is the syntax that we have to use while we have to declare some properties and events. Here we don't have any property and event for application header UI element creation as of now. Okay, so that's why I'm keeping it as blank, and as part of second step I can use that particular object, screen element object, and I can use to call any method, like call method for that object. How we can call it? Like we can use application header object dot, this is the object name, dot the method name. Okay, like set welcome. Okay, here it is suggesting me to put some boolean value, either we can use true or false. Okay, so likewise I can call some other method like application header object set logo source. Okay, so we can use some logo as well here. Okay, So to use any kind of picture, you have to copy that picture. Here I am copying this image, okay, and you have to paste it under web content folder, okay. So batch on underscore pic is my image. Here I'm going to use that as our application header logo. Batch on underscore pic dot jpg, okay. Application header object set logo text. I can use some static or dynamic logo text as well, okay. SAP Fiori online training, okay. And after each and every statement we have to use semicolon as we used dot in above, okay. I'm using username as a static as my name only. Application header object set log off. So here also you can see like it is saying use some boolean value. So let me just use true value here, okay. And this is the step that we have done as part of our step 2. Call some different methods by passing values. And in step 3 we need to, so in the first and second step we declared our UI5 screen element object, screen element. Now it's the time to place that screen element on some HTML content area. So here all the things you see in the browser that comes under the body part, okay, body part of HTML, okay, body part of HTML. So now I can place the object or UI object on some HTML content area. So for that what you have to do, just use that object name, application header object, and use this standard class, okay. And here just give the HTML content area name ID. Here I have on div HTML tag, okay. Div is a HTML tag which defines some areas, some HTML areas. So here the ID is content. So I want to place my application header on this div, okay, on this HTML placeholder. That's why I'm using the content. Content is a name. You can use any name here. So now if I'll quickly go and run, so how you can test it, just right click on the project name and then select the run as, then web app preview, okay. Then you can see I have some application header, which application logo is coming, some application header text is coming, welcome Partha. Here my name is coming, I put it as a static field here, but you can use dynamic as well, okay. Definitely we will be using dynamic values. And log off, these things are appearing here, okay. So this is how important, how easy it is. So if we rigorously follow the step 1, step 2 and step 3 to use to develop our each and every UI5 screen element, so then you will find it very easy, okay. That is not at all difficult, okay. Okay, so let me just quickly go through the OData part and Fury, standard Fury. What are the standard Fury? So first of all, let me go through some OData part. Like here, so to develop any OData, you need to go to the front end system. Okay, And as I told you, ACGW is the main tool from where we can develop our, inside that we can develop our OData web service. So to do that, you need to create some project. So I'm not going to create any project here. Okay, let me just show you some existing project which I already developed. Okay, so here you can see, inside any project you will find basic 4 folder. I will go each and everything in detail. So this is the data model, service implementation, runtime artifact, service maintenance. Okay, so these are the main 4 things that we need to work on while developing the OData web service. Okay, and first, one more important thing here is, like in above, you need to know the basic thing like how we can declare internal tables, work area, and these things. So here also we have the same concept, slightly different way, slightly in different way. So first of all, let me just introduce that thing. So let's suppose here in this OData web service we have entity type, entity, and entity set. So what are their entity, what are those entity type, entity and entity set? Let me just introduce you to that. So what is entity type? Okay, so entity type is nothing but, let me just show you in a structure way. Okay, so let's suppose this is your entity type. Okay, so this is your entity type, ID, okay, name, okay, salary. So that means entity type is nothing but the structure in above. Okay, so this is entity type here. Okay, so entity type, collection of fields. Entity type is collection of fields. It is called as entity type here, and which we generally call structure. Okay, sorry. So first of all, let me just tell you all the things. Then I can declare entity. Okay, entity is nothing but some work area. Okay, entity is nothing but some work area. Let's suppose this is your work area. Okay, this is your ID field, this is your name field, this is your salary field, this is your ID 0001, this is your name, and this is your salary. Okay, so this is called as entity in OData web service. Okay, so that holds single entry, single record. And similarly, we have entity set. Similarly, we have entity set. Similarly, we do have entity set here. So let's suppose this is your ID, this is your name, this is your salary field. This is 0001, this is 0002, this is 0003, okay. So this is your entity set. So entity set is nothing but it holds collection of records. Okay, and if you will compare now with ABAP, so this is, if you will compare with ABAP, once again, sorry. So entity type is nothing but your structure, entity is nothing but your work area, and entity set is nothing but your internal table. Okay, so this is the important thing that you need to know before moving into the OData application, OData ABAP service development. So there are other things, there are other terms that we need to know, like, so there are other things like in the runtime artifacts we have model provider class, data provider class. Okay, first let me just quickly introduce you. So in the runtime artifacts you have different options. DPC means data provider class, DPCext means data provider extension, MPC means model provider class, MPC extension means model provider extension class. This is model, this is service. Okay, and inside data model you have different other options. So I will teach you each and everything here. Okay, and this is your service maintenance. Okay, fine. So now as of now you have little bit idea of OData web service, you have little bit idea of UI5 custom development. Now let me just introduce you to Fiori part. So what is Fiori then? So as I already told you, Fiori is nothing but collection of standard application delivered by SAP, correct? So I'm going into the SAP Fiori app library. So whenever you need to extend any SAP Fiori standard application, you need to go into this documentation. This is the standard SAP documentation, and you need to follow the steps. Like, I will just quickly wrap up the session in some time. So let it be loaded. So here you can see in the all application part, we have all the applications that SAP has already been delivered to their customers. So there you can see 7,676 applications that SAP has already provided for any customer. Okay, okay. So there are different applications. So let's suppose I need to extend, I need to modify the standard, my time sheet, or my timesheet application. So first of all, you can see there is one drop down option is there. That means we have two different informations. One is for SAP S4 HANA, one is for SAP Business Suite. Okay, okay. And here you can see it is giving the information like database is SAP HANA database. If I'll choose SAP Business Suite, it is saying any database. We can use any database. And what are the basic features that we can achieve by implementing this SAP Fiori application? There, that you can find out by reading out the documentation, the feature. So that means while we have all the system ready, okay, to deploy our Fiori, so it is not like that all the application will be loaded inside your system and all the users can access them. So definitely some configurator will be there and they will configure the SAP Fiori application. I will teach you the configuration part as well. Okay, as part of our training. So there you need to explicitly deploy particular applications for particular roles for particular users. Okay, so how to deploy? For that you need to go into the implementation information, and mainly for each and every application you will find four basic options: installation, configuration, extensibility, and support. Okay, installation is the part where you will find the basic system requirements. Okay, so what are the basic system requirements for your front end component or for your back end component that you can find here. Okay, I will teach you how we can find in our system. And then the configuration part, how we can deploy the SAP Wi-Fi application, how we can deploy the particular OData service that is responsible for this particular application. So as I told you, each and every Fury application is based on UI5 framework. That means there must be some UI5 application, okay, that is delivered by SAP, and there must be some OData service that is connecting to the backend system to manipulate the data. So that thing we need to activate in our system for this particular application. Okay, and these are the different other roles that we need to assign while deploying this my time sheet application in system. And in the extensibility part, you will see, like, you will see the different hooks, okay, like the different enhancement options. Okay, so for some application you could find, like, there we need to implement some baddie. So let's suppose you have some purchase order approval application. Okay, there the customer requirement is to add some new fields. That means definitely that new field should be there in your backend system database table, and that table, that new field should have some value, and after that only you can place that new field in your UI5 or in your Fury application. Okay, so that the new field value can be shown there on the front end screen, front end Fury screen. Correct. So there are different options to make enhancement in SAP Fury. Okay, so you can find the different options, like to enhance the views part. That means the client part, the things that we can see in the browser. Okay, UI elements, to enhance the different UI elements. Okay, we can use for this application, we have to use this view. Okay, okay, and we can enhance the view. Okay, similarly, not only the view, we need to enhance the controller as well to communicate to the backend model. So for that we can use this particular controller under this Fury application. Okay, and here you can see this is called, they are calling as hook. Okay, hook method. Okay, so this is the part where we will generally extend this standard Fury application, and support part is basically is for the to find out the different application component. Hello? Okay, so support part, if we need, if we have some issues, okay, and we need to communicate to the SAP, okay, for SAP OSS nodes. Okay, for that, in that case we have to note down this application component name and raise the SAP node, OSS node. So this section is for that. Okay, so I think I'm stopping here. I should stop here now. Any concern, any question, you can ask me now.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, can we know about the timing details of the class?
Timing means I think Amrita, right? As I told you,
Yes,
uh,
yes.
yeah, in weekdays, probably in weekdays I will take some sessions, that would be for around 9 to 9:30 I will start, and for weekend it will be generally at the morning time,
Okay. Morning timings 10
10:30.
2 o'clock this timing.
Yes, or probably as per I mean as per everyone's availability. If everyone is available, then otherwise I can take any in some other timing, like right in some evening time or any other time at the weekend.
In our batch, I will be joining in which batch and so that we will decide the timings and all. Because if you will do in the weekend classes now, it will be again 5 days gap and
Mhm.
little bit difficult.
No, no, no. I will not give you that much time. Okay. Uh, okay. Yeah. In between every weekdays, okay, I will try to take a minimum 2 classes. Okay, as I am taking for my first
Okay,
batch.
okay. So in our batch, who will be joining? Like 2 to 3 means I want to confirm like 3 to 4 members or 10 members or
No,
something
no,
like
no, no. I will not take more than 5 members in on session. Okay. So most
that.
probably
Hello, your voice is actually somewhat breaking.
now, now it's okay. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yes,
So
yes.
yes,
Hello.
I was telling hello. Are you
Yes, Partha, your voice is actually breaking.
okay? Let me try. Now it is
Yeah,
okay. So
yes, yes.
I was telling like in weekdays also I will take 2 class minimum. Okay, I'll
Okay,
go in that mode. I mean whichever is suitable for you guys. And for each and
okay,
every session, I will not take more than 5 students.
okay. And that server access and all, from where we will be getting?
Yeah, for server access, either you can get it from somewhere else, or if you want, I can manage for you. And for that, for per month, I think it's they are taking 1,000. I guess
Yeah,
1,000.
yeah.
Okay. So if you want, I can manage from my vendor the server that I am using currently.
Like you will, we don't have some hands-on session and all.
Yeah, definitely. But I think I mentioned right. So that
Hmm.
amount I just mentioned there, that is not inclusive of the server access. So if you want,
Okay,
I can manage it for you, but it will cost you for 1,000 per month.
okay. And that I have to install it or
No, no,
like how?
nothing. Okay, let me just tell you how you can do it. Right?
Uh, okay,
See here how we are going. Like here, there is some instruction. Okay, and after that, this icon will come, and after clicking on that icon you have to give this IP address, okay, and connect,
okay,
and it will prompt the user ID and password. Just you need to type the password and it will redirect you to that remote server. So that's all. So now I am in the remote server. This is my remote server. Okay,
and in this system I can use any type of the code and anything, right?
right, right.
Because some of the institutes they are giving only some T code access. That's why I
No, no,
confirm
no,
with you.
no, no. Here you can use any kind of T code.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. And notes and all you will be giving or like we have to maintain.
No, no, no. Notes and all. Every for every class, I will be giving, and I will probably record the session, and later on, I will just post it to you.
Okay. And suppose in case of any power cut or anything in your time of classes, huh, that part I will be missing or
No, 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 no.
we
As
will
I told you,
manage.
right? So I will be sending the recordings as well. So you can probably access the recording.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
That's all from my side.
Yeah. Thanks. Anything
And
from?
one more.
Yeah, yeah, tell me.
Sorry, Partha. I have one doubt. Uh, uh, like you told in Fury also, we can have that leave approval, right?
Right,
But that we can also do through SAP workflow.
right. So SAP has delivered that, okay, standard application, and they internally, I mean, they internally maintain the workflow there itself. Okay, so if we need to do some modification in the workflow side, you can do it. Okay, so you can always go and do it. Okay, so let me
No,
just let
my question is
tell me.
that Fury is related to Fury. Yes, or it is means Fury plus workflow. That is what my question is.
Okay, so that is part of workflow. Okay, that is part of workflow.
Mm.
Workflow guy will do it. Okay, you don't have to bother about that.
Like as an developer also used to learn workflow. Now, from that point of view, I'm asking, do we require workflow also, or we
No,
need?
no, no. There should be some dedicated workflow guy for that. Okay. So first of all, let me
Okay.
just tell you one more thing here. See, in the current market, we have three kind of role. Okay, SAP
Okay.
Fiori front end developer. Okay, and SAP Fiori backend developer. And one more thing, SAP Fiori configurator. Okay, so SAP Fiori
Okay.
configurator guy will configure the standard Fiori application. They will not do any kind of enhancements. If some enhancements will come inside the SAP standard Fiori application, then these two guys will develop for any kind of front end designing extension. The front end developer will do it, and for any backend things like for to enhance the OData service, the backend developer can do it. So this is according to some project or some big organizations, but there are some other organizations they want some guys who knows all the three things. Okay, he can configure the standard Fury application, he can develop UI5 applications, custom developments. Okay, from the front end perspective, I mean the from the he can use the Eclipse tool or WebID tool, and he can use the OData above services as well. Okay,
Okay.
so I think more or less we need to know all the things present.
Okay. And from above side, what are the free knowledge we should have?
From the above side, I think uh, normal ABAP is okay for OData ABAP service development. Okay, little bit of
Normal above nothing but.
normal ABAP means data declarations, or how we can do select, update, modify, query operations. Okay, this kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and like loop. But for UI5 development, the syntaxes are different. For loop, the syntax is different. For other variable declaration, the syntaxes are different. Okay, but for the OData part, all are maximum similar to ABAP only. You just need to know some object oriented thing, and some class methods concepts and normal ABAP. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Better. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Praveen, from your side?
Yeah, but like, what should be the duration for this course? Like, how much time it will take to complete the
Yeah,
sessions and
yeah. Actually, I will take around 40 hours of session in total, and I will try to complete within 2 months. I mean, in less than 2 months.
okay, okay. And are we going to have one something like a dummy type project, like, through which we will get a more idea?
Yeah, the practical things which I will provide you, I mean, which I will teach you. So those are part of those are part of, I mean, in the real time application as well. Okay, so probably we will not develop the full-fledged real time application, but the different parts. Okay, so that are part of
Okay.
standard I mean that are part of only the real-time application only.
And the server access which you are having now, does it have a HANA database or our normal
Normal
Oracle
database.
database?
This is only having the normal database now.
Okay.
Okay.
And one more thing, like I am not knowing HTML or CSS or JavaScript also. I just know a bit. So how will it help me? Like, do I need to explore from my end more about the uh,
Nothing. So that's what I will teach you. Okay, that's the things that I will teach you. So that I was just trying to give you some flavor of that. That's why I just I've gone through one of the coding part, right? So we need to follow the 3 steps and some other techniques are there. So that one I will teach you. Don't worry.
and that Fury configuration also you will teach or you are going to explain, right?
Yeah.
Front end, back end. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Good. And I don't have any more question, Parth. Thank you so much for your time and explanation. It was good demo.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot for joining. Okay. And yeah, I will let you know when and how we will start the batch. Okay.
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you, Parth.
Thank you, Amrita. Prabin, what's your email ID?
Yeah, psharekar@gmail.com.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Bye bye.